kind of shadowy at first.
His point is to resist my son.
Hi. I'm here this weekend.
Can I ask Clarence, from his experience, do you feel that they were what they were after?
Oh yes, I posted something the other day where I listened to you and the guy from Australia talking.
Hi, Clarence. This is Phil here.
Who's something from the Canadian group?
The cell phone seems to have dropped through a wormhole. I can't find it.
I woke up with three small figures, the Greys, standing next to my bed.
Hi, Clarence. This is Cohen from Australia. How are you? Yes, it's Mike and Jean. How you doing, Clarence?
Hi, Clarence.
And what kind of experience have you had? Clarence is an empath.
Just having trouble with my smart TV. It turned out to be a dumbass TV.
My name's Lee Stacy.
This summer, I've seen all kinds of bizarre things in the sky.
Really? You want to hear my story?
I have an extended vine that is called a tuck tail, I call it, to stick out, but it goes way past my skin.
Your fellow administrator, Melissa Bryant.
This is Jim. Call it.
Well, if you don't get it, you get it. You can open a wormhole by accident.
Yeah, Jack Myers, seconds to Mallory, Oklahoma. How you doing, brother?
I've had 3 sightings, one in Massachusetts, I've had 2 in Hollywood, California. I've actually got to see an extraterrestrial.
And here am I stuck here on this planet and I can't get off it. That's how I felt.
So what is your mission here on Earth, Doug?
To raid the planet Earth of all its oxygen. And I shall impregnate all human women.
His point is to resist my son.
Everyone looks at the sky, and we're drawn to the heavens.
Hi, Clarence. It's Carol. I've been watching Ancient Aliens since the beginning. I was hooked from the very first show.
I want to ask what you make
This is Mike. This is Lee's brother.
Hey, how you doing? This is Dan. I'm an admin on Ancient Aliens Tech. Just wanted to call and say hey.
It's just a shame that we have people there who take things funny like this.
I'm going to tell you a secret, people. Hold on now. Hold on to your seats.
Or making crop circles. That makes a lot of sense. It's brilliant.
What I did was I had to call in as a guest on my own show. Can you believe that?
Rob, is that you, sir?
You sure, you bet. Yep.
And hey, Clara, Sharon McQueen, how are you?
Oh, that's crazy. I went through a 4-foot stack of National Enquirer.
His description of him was a classic, what would be described as a classic gray alien.
I don't mean to sound sexual, but Sharon, the night together was a song we used to sing together.
Hey, John.
Hi. I finally made it.
All right. I do agree with Clarence. I think this was one of the best shows we've ever had.
Oh, I had no idea that you had an encounter with the Greys.
When it vanished and disappeared, it made like a sonic boom.
Thank you for your show.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Good night, and keep your eyes to the sky.
Okay, well, hello and welcome back, everybody, to Closer Encounters here on Blog Talk Radio. As always, you, the listener, is also the guest. The number here tonight, of course, is always 347-989-1008. Feel free to give us a call anytime, and we'll get you on and do a little chit-chatting. We're also live on YouTube once again tonight, so you can check us out there at Closer Encounters Live. The chat room is always open on the Blog Talk Radio website. And just go to Blog Talk Radio and look for Closer Encounters, and you'll find us. I'm also on Facebook, so, you know, a bunch of different ways of finding us. Not a big deal. Fair warning, I already got booted once before we even started the show. I don't know what the deal is with their system, but hopefully it'll hold together long enough to get through this one. It should be kind of an interesting show for most of you, especially tonight, because normally I don't talk a lot about religion, and hopefully it won't go into that realm, so to speak. Tonight's episode is the Bible and the UFO/alien connection. And hopefully, you know, we can go through this without getting too crazy on the God, devil, whatever thing, you know. So, looks like we have our friend Tim with us here tonight. Let's get him booted up. Mr. Collard, how are you?
Salutations.
There you go. Long time no hear, eh?
I know, yeah. But it's always good being here with you, Clarence. I love it, and I've got some views to share with you a little bit, you know, with some people and with yourself, but
cool.
On how the Bible came to be and all that stuff. But it's very controversial.
Yes.
And
yes.
You know, I don't want the main thing that I don't want to do with conversations like this. The number one thing I want this very clear and make this very, very, very much part of it, that I don't wish to or want to affect anybody's faith,
right?
Or shake their faith,
right?
Or anything,
right?
Well, if anything, to maybe. Because people are very, very close-minded when it comes to their faith and what they believe.
Yes.
I've found this to be so true, but if you come at it through a good, positive way, and in that process, if you're guided by positive energy, positive spirit, positive life, and all that is good in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help but have people feel the effect of that.
Exactly.
That's what I wish to share.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to rattle anybody's faith or to cause a conflict or anything like that. Matter of fact, it's very much the opposite. Possibly to maybe enlighten people a little, not to confuse people. Now it could bring about a lot of confusion too.
Mm-hmm.
But
absolutely,
it's just one of those. You know, it's a touchy subject. You know, people's religion. They don't want. People don't want you anything that's different than what they've been taught or they've been told.
Exactly.
unless you really, you know, if you believe everything that you're taught and you're told as far as religion is concerned,
mm-hmm.
you are basically sticking your head in the sand.
Yeah.
And you're not allowing yourself to open up to what the real big picture is.
Exactly.
Because there's so much more involved to it. There's so much more to it.
Mm-hmm.
And if people would just be open to it and accept some things, a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of mysteries that surround people's faith and people's religion and people's view on what. And I'm not talking about just Christianity.
Right.
You know, it's all
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. They all basically, have formed a scam You know, mankind has done that. Now, it's what we as human beings have done. You know, and that's the main thing.
Right.
You know, the human input has redirected what God has given us to use and to have and to hold and to manifest our character and to make us more than what we are.
Right.
You know, I mean, it'd be really easy if we were programmable or a machine or something. You know, that could have some type of input code put into us where we knew this was that, and that was this, and that was it. But we're not.
Right.
We're living, breathing, things that we have a tendency to. Well, mankind has a tendency to take it upon themselves to let ego get involved.
Yeah.
And true ego and a lot of power is involved in that. You know, I mean, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Look at the Catholic. You know, look at Catholicism. Look at the Vatican. You know, it's the smallest sovereignty in the world, yet it's the most richest and most powerful sovereignty in the world.
Absolutely.
You know, so there's a lot of what's going on with that? You know, there's the influence of mortal men have changed what was given to us by God. You know, we're not supposed to worship money or things like that, but yet they hold very dear to their power and their wealth.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And and I have to be careful about this because I don't want to be, I don't want to be rounded up and shipped off to some concentration camp in Lower Slavonia where I'm never heard from again. You know.
I hear you.
Because of this. You know.
Right.
I mean, it's true.
Well, I had to really think about this show tonight because, a person there in the Ancient Alien group, Billy Carsons, I believe it was his name. I'd have to look that up again. I don't want to say it wrong, but he posted this video, which I shared, throughout the internet, and it had the video from the UFO files about passages in the Bible and, it pertaining to the ancient alien theory, and it was UFO Files Season 1 Episode 3 is what it was. And it talks about UFOs in the Bible. And I actually sat back and thought, well, if we do this, are we going to be, we're going to have to tread kind of lightly on this and make sure people understand what we're doing here. We're not per se, other than we're just kind of comparing notes here, and I don't want people to get too upset with us, So I had to debate it. I really did, because
it's going to happen. We're going to step on some toes, but I apologize for beforehand on anything that might be said that really may touch a raw point on anybody.
Yes.
But I got to be really careful about what I say. Just in general. Because again, I don't want to. The main thing is I don't want to rattle anybody's faith or rattle their make anything a conflict for anybody to have within themselves on on their relationship with God.
Yeah. The way I look at it is, you know, everybody that knows us knows that we are who we are, you know, and we talk about the ancient alien theory, and that's what we do. And therefore, if they are on a strictly a religious based deal in their life, and that's, you know, more power to them. It's not really going to persuade them or whatever. You know, we may get a phone call or two saying you guys are nuts, you know, you're blaspheming and whatever. And I just want to point out that no, that's not what this is about. It's just a theory, and you know, que sera, sera.
Right.
That's you know, it's no different. It's no different than what you're actually reading in the Bible, because of the way people has over the years and rewritten and rewritten and rewritten and rewritten. This is just another way of writing, or another depiction, let's put it that way, another interpretation of what I'm reading, and that's all it is. So I just want to stress that. Yeah. Tim, before we get going here, I want to make a couple of announcements before we get going here. Real quick, we had a thing happen in the past couple of days, and I'm sure you'll know the name Robert Bauval. He's a very well-known person on the ancient alien theory and different other things. He works a lot with the Egyptology and
Egyptologist. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And it came to light, he actually reached out to a bunch of people, and he made a post website, and it got passed around and was shared 100 times and whatever. So I've been kind of working with him a little bit myself in the last couple of days. I'm going to tell you what happened, and I hope you people that are on YouTube tonight watching this and that understand what's going on, and maybe you guys can help us out. He has an imposter that is on the YouTube channel. He has a channel that's called Robert Bauval. Actually, he has a couple of channels. Robert Bauval himself does not have YouTube, period. He does not get involved with YouTube. So anything you see of his on YouTube is being put out there by this person claiming to be Robert Bauval. He's an imposter. So I took this post that Robert made, asking for help and explaining the whole situation, and I put it on every single video and on every single channel that this guy is running. And I posted it umpteen million times. So hopefully he knows that we're on to him, and I hope that YouTube themselves, if they're listening, will check into this and get it straightened out. This guy's actually, what's going on is, he's actually making money on the advertisements that's on YouTube, because you get paid for your advertising, whatever it is they put on there, and you get so much, for every view, blah, 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 blah. It isn't much to start off with, but it can grow over time. This guy gained by using somebody else's name and copywritten material. It's totally against the law, period. And he needs to be shut down. So I just want to throw that out there. So if you see any, and he's been doing it a lot with John Hancock's videos also under Robert Bauval's name. So if you see any John Hancock or any Robert Bauval's videos under the name of Robert Bauval, it's a fake. It's an imposter. Boycott him, do whatever, let him know that you know that he's a fake, and stop what he's doing. And hopefully they'll catch up with him. I really do.
Absolutely, man. It's so terrible that people do whatever they can to make a buck today,
Yeah, and not only that, but you can make your own YouTube channel and use his videos. He wouldn't mind that, And I'm sure Graham Hancock probably wouldn't mind it either, But to do it right out blatantly and take the claim of the copywritten material as his own, That's just totally wrong. Do your own copyrights. You know, this guy's worked his whole life doing this stuff. This belongs to him and him alone. You know, but
yeah,
you know, that's the way of the world. You know, sad. Totally wrong.
Yeah, it is. So, it's an ever-changing world that we live in, and we have to more or less be light on our feet and be aware of everything that's around us, because things change so quickly, and people will take advantage of any situation they can for their own monetary gain.
Absolutely.
And it's very, very sad. And you know, I think about sometimes, you know, that people could take what I say as an idea or something, and how far they could go with that.
Right. Hey, you never know. Sure.
You know, or not just myself, but all of us.
Mm-hmm.
All of us here, because we do have some radical views and some radical opinions of things that you know, are way different than the mainstream.
Right.
It's not against the mainstream. It's just different.
Just our thing.
You know, our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really pay attention to what we have to say, and you know, not saying that we have all the answers, of that our ideas, our theories are
the right ones. Right.
The way it is.
Right.
But open up everybody else's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe open up their thoughts or their opinions about things, you know, to help people gain their own understanding of what is real. Because one thing, it's like, well, I've said this before. When I was younger, I was really into mysteries all the time, and solving mysteries. You know, and the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew mysteries and all that stuff is what got me started.
Right.
But from there, it went on, progressed much more than that. You know, and every time you go into a mystery, it seems like you know, the best way to answer questions is to put the puzzle together, and how well parts fit together. And once you put the right parts, once you put that key piece into place, it starts answering all the other mysteries. You know, all the other unknowns kind of fall into place. And, and it's not something that's hammered into place. They fit naturally into place.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's the difference. That right there will let you know if you're on the right track. You know, that's a good way of having your own fail-safe put in.
Sure.
Fail-safe system, you know.
Sure.
Because you can't just go about listening to people. You know, I wouldn't want anybody to take what I say, for instance, to be gospel, and to study or to follow my words to 100%. You know.
Correct.
But I would like for them to just, you know, take what I have to say, and with that, form their own opinion.
Right.
And come up with their own theories and their own digest their own reality of things. You know.
Exactly.
And again, once you have that, and if I could do anything, if I could have a job or have something that I could do to give to the world, it would be to help people to develop that within themselves.
Yes.
Because each and every one of us have our own little key piece that could help to understand, you know, the all in all, you know, more or less, you know.
Right.
Not that I'm not really into it. I'm not really into the quest of wanting to know, but I'm curious as to where it is we come to, where we come from, and where it is we're going to. You know, where is mankind really going to? Are we on a path of self-destruct? Have we really advanced ourselves to the point to where we're in this little tunnel vision situation to where we're all just selfish in our own existence, and we don't care about anybody else?
Right.
Is that what? I don't think that's what mankind is about.
No.
And the more I talk to people, and the more I open up with everyone, especially with younger people, because older people get really set in their ways. They're really hard ones. They're really hard ones to formulate their own opinion. you know, and they want things. They want things either black or white. They want it,
Right.
you know, they want, well, if you're going to tell me, you know, I don't want to have to do this on my own. I don't want to have to do that work. You know, but the younger people are willing to their thoughts and really accept it. You know, once you, again, it's one of those things that once you start putting those pieces together for people, and if you do it in a strong, productive manner, within a positive light, within a positive spirit of all that is good in the world, you can't help but what I'm saying to be true.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't help but know that what I'm conveying to people is the truth. And you know, it's one of those things where I don't want to rattle their faith, but I want them to kind of maybe rattle their own faith, maybe rattle, you know, maybe, you know, knock down some barriers of their own, you know,
Right.
on their own. Not that I do, or that any of us do, but have them do it on their own, and you know, help mankind become a better society, a
Right.
better species, you know, and I don't know, I'll believe that as my legacy. If I could do anything, if I could control anything, it would be to have that.
Right.
And that's the only control I want to have.
Right.
Is to help expand people's horizons. You know, but you know, again, I may be doing it right here. I'm doing it every day. Well, it's something I do. I do a little bit every day in that direction.
Right.
That's what makes me who I am. And you know, I try to help people to understand other people, and other people to understand everyone else.
Right.
You know, everyone else's opinion. Not to make it a conflict, but to make it unified, bring people together, and have people flowing in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? And that to me, that means more than anything else in the world. And I'll just do that, you know, my whole life, the rest of my life, for whatever time I have left here on this earth. That's what I'm going to do.
Sure.
You know, I've committed myself to that. but a lot of it has to do with like where the Bible comes from.
Yeah.
You know? And well, not so much where the Bible comes from, but the bringing together, the compilation of how the books came together.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it was done in a good, positive manner. But again, what people use to gain power and gain manipulation over people is what it's become, and it is what it is in that sense.
In a
That's
sense, yeah, I have to agree with you, and I think it happened long before we really realized. I think it was put together not as a religious artifact to begin with, but as a power thing. Well, you remember back Constantine's day and whatever, when they went through and they kept a lot of the Bible out of the Bible, you know, so to speak. A lot of the writings never made it into the Bible. So it had already went through man's, how you want to say it? It went through his,
editing.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's about the only way you can put it. They're editing, and basically, I believe that they edited it the way they did to be able to manipulate, you know. But now that's my opinion and my theory, and here we go on that touchy subject, you know. But that's my belief. So that's
a perfect example of that is how women are depicted in the Bible.
Correct. Yes.
I mean, if we actually lived in our lives today the way that it's depicted in the Bible, women are not supposed to be anything more than subservient to men.
Correct.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Basically, you know, and I don't think that that's right. In no sense of what is good in the world is that right.
No.
Or should anybody have anything to be in power over people because of their ethnicity,
right,
or because of their sex,
right,
or because of their sexual preference?
Exactly.
You know, people shouldn't be stung upon because of their sexual preference, especially.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that, you know, when you're standing in believe me, I'm going to tell you that I was very boneheaded about that opinion. I was opinionated and very boneheaded about same-sex marriages and things like that for a very long time until I came to acceptance of it and said, hey, you know, if they're not bothering me, why should I let it bother me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, it's the depiction of what has been manifested by mankind in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, it's been laid down that you know that if you're with someone that's the same sex, that you're bad and that you should be exiled into the land of nothingness and not be allowed to be in society.
Right.
And that's wrong. That's as wrong as anything. You know, I've come to believe that that's as wrong as anything that is wrong in the world. Same way with you know with the way we treat women.
Yeah.
You know, if we were to do that, you know, and I don't mean to be, you know, casting any stones at any one particular religion or anybody's faith or anything else.
Right. Right.
But the way Islam views women in general.
Well, they got to be totally covered up, and you can't see their faces, and yeah, totally different.
Not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very good. You know.
Yep.
And very, you know, they don't. But you know, and there's no reason for it. If we are a society or a species that's advancing and becoming more enlightened in the world around us, we can't allow those things like that to take place or to have precedence in our culture. You know, we just can't do that. You know, there's no way. And we have to rise above that. You know, and we as Christians, we have risen above it. You know, if you look at it, you know what we have done. Well, I won't say we, but our society, our culture here in the United States, for the most part, is of a Christian religion. You know,
right?
Christianity is very much the mainstay of religion. You know, here, although there's all forms of religion here, it's the main one. You know, it's the main focus one. You know.
Well, you know, it's funny because, you know, I was raised Catholic, and then my father became ordained minister, and we were into the Southern Baptist, and of course, you know, we went up the ladder as we went along, and you know, during my abduction visitation period and stuff, you know, I had to take a step back and look at religion. And that was a big factor for me at that time. And so now, if people ask me if I'm a Christian, I almost stumble on that when they ask me, because I can't honestly say that I am a Christian, you know, because I don't partake of the churches anymore. And my belief system is totally backwards compared to their belief systems, you know. And I mean, it's just, you know, and I tell people that, and they just look at me really funny, you know. And I have people tell me, man, you're going to hell, you're an atheist. And I believe in a superpower. I believe in a super being power, basically, you know, whatever. There's more out there than meets the eye, for sure. There's something there, okay? Something created us, something, you know, whatever. Call it what you will, you know. But as far as being Christian or into the Christianity, I have to back out of that because I can't claim that anymore. To me, you know what I'm saying? Because it puts me in that religious realm, and I can't be a part of that, you know.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. But you know, something that I've come across is that more and more people are formulating this opinion. They're facing Christianity, but they can't allow themselves to go to any one denomination.
Exactly.
Church.
Exactly. Yes.
Because of the conflict and the confusion that exists within each denomination.
Absolutely.
You know, and everyone is rising above it. They're staying, for the most part, a lot of people are staying rooted in their Christian beliefs. They're rooted in the biblical sense of it, you know, and following the golden rule and, you know, the 10 Commandments and things of this nature. But they don't allow themselves to be fundamental in any doctrine.
Well, you know, it's even to the point, though, Tim. Well, you know, it's even to the point where people say, well, do you believe in God? You know, well, God is just a name as far as I'm concerned. You know, do I believe in a God? I can't call it a God either. I call it a higher being, you know, more intelligent, however you want to look at it. I don't see, the thing is I don't worship anything. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You know, I don't pray to things. I don't worship things. So therefore, it takes me out of that whole realm altogether. You know,
right.
I do tend to meditate. If you want to call that prayer, so be it. You know, whatever. But
that is a form of prayer. Prayer and meditation is one of the
right. So
I believe,
you know, but I'm not praying to one particular entity, and I'm not praying to one particular cycle, you know, or whatever. You know, it's more of it's more of a self-indulgence spirituality. So be it. You know, whatever you want to call it.
You know, and a lot of people, you know, have a tendency to think, well, you're being selfish if you're being like that. It's not about being selfish. It's about being one with everyone else.
Right.
We all have, I believe, that God is not something that is a single entity. God is something that exists within each and every one of us.
Right.
And we have the free will. We have the free will to choose it or to not choose it. You know, we have to have free will.
Right.
You can't force people to have any opinion or any fact-based direction. You can't force them to, you know. But if we allow people to have free will, then that opens up the ability for people to make the right choices. Correct. And we can either be positive or you can be negative. You can be good or you can be evil. Right. You can be in the light or you can be in the dark. Right. Those are the choices that we have to make.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. Exactly right.
But that's just hey. Sorry.
No, not a problem. Not a problem.
We got things going on, and the kids are around us, and oh man, I'm hoping not to get too much
interference. Yeah.
Too much. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
But you know, they have the things that they have. I'm trying to find a quiet place to be in the house. We got company over, and we have things going on. Everybody getting ready for Christmas and everything,
Sure.
you know, and all that's going on.
Sure.
You know, and see, you know, and everyone has this, you know, this Christian-based deal. This is the holiday season, you know,
Right.
and this is something that is very much the part of the Christianity thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's us being Christians, we celebrate that,
Sure.
you know. But the people all around the world celebrate this time of year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a thing of being positive and, you know, that same spirit,
Right.
having good spirit. And it's sad that we only take this opportunity once a year to share this with everybody. But we should have the same spirit within us all year
round.
You know what
Sure,
I'm saying?
absolutely.
Not just during one particular time of the season.
I
you know?
agree. Yes.
But that's just the way our fast-paced lifestyle has become, you know. And yeah, you know, I'm not going by I don't have an agenda that I'm not following a speech or anything. This is something that is just, I'm just letting things flow. And as you let things flow naturally, they come into place, man. And I love
Absolutely.
it when it happens like this, because it just naturally falls into place. And I haven't done anything to manipulate it. I haven't done anything to plan it. I didn't plan it to be this way or nothing else. It just happens. And when people have an opportunity to experience that for the first hand for themselves, they can't help but know that maybe that's the way we should be, you know, and that's the way we should ourselves be,
Right.
you know, and open ourselves up to the world, you know, and to you know, people, you know, other ethnicities, other cultures, other people's faith. You know, I don't mean to tread upon any one particular faith. Definitely, I don't mean to do that. But it's, you know, I would like to try to enlighten people to maybe. A perfect example is all your different countries in the Islamic world. They have different fundamentals in each one.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of like in Iran and parts of Iraq, and I don't know, that maybe a few other countries. Saudi Arabia,
Right.
perfect example. Yemen, Oman, these countries, they live by where women have to wear their hijab, and they, you know, have to keep their head covered. And well, some places like what was it, Afghanistan, they have to wear a burqa,
Right.
you know, where their whole body is covered.
Absolutely.
You know,
Faces,
they
everything.
see their face.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Their face is covered, their body is covered. You know, and
Very true.
Man, hey, that's a pretty hot part of the country, or not country. That's a pretty hot part of the world to be living in, and have to wear that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, that's not right. That's not right. You know. But then you go to other countries like Lebanon, Turkey, where women, very seldom do you see women wearing a hijab. Although they still do. Not all women do.
Right.
They practice their Islamic faith,
Mm-hmm.
and they follow the Quran, but they don't. You know, they've broken away from under total control, total
Right.
domination.
Right.
I mean, you know, then you go to a country like Saudi Arabia, where if a woman gets caught driving an automobile, the penalty is to be stoned to death. And
Wow.
this is a country that this is an ally of the United States government. Our strongest ally is Saudi Arabia, and they have laws where they stone a woman to death for driving an automobile.
Right.
Are you serious? You know?
Yeah.
And I ask people this. I ask other Muslims this. I I've asked women this, and you know what they say? You know how they are so brainwashed that they say, well, that's because they want us women to not have to do any manly chores.
Wow.
That's their way of thinking about it.
You know something?
Not that they can have their own, you know, they have been brainwashed so much that they believe that they're not allowed to drive because that's a man thing, and that women shouldn't have to do a job like that.
Right.
But yet women can't hold a power of any political office.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's
Right.
up with that? They can't vote.
True.
You know?
Yeah.
They're not allowed to vote.
Yeah.
And
No rights. Yeah.
I think Egypt has changed their laws a little bit. They've opened up a little, and Morocco and
Mhm.
Egypt and maybe some of the other countries around there. Well, Turkey,
Right.
Lebanon. These are countries that are you know, they're changing. They're changing not so much that they're changing their values, but they're
Mhm.
changing what women can do.
Sure.
You know, or what women are allowed to do.
Right.
And I think that if we, as a society, advance in any way, that's what we can advance in the most is allowing women to have the same freedoms, the same liberties that men have got. Well, here in the United States, I mean, there's a lot of women CEOs of companies. You know, I mean, we almost had a woman president for the first time. You know,
Right.
But you know, thank goodness it wasn't her.
Yeah.
I'm all for a woman being president, but not her. Okay, we could have had somebody else in that. I mean, Gloria, what's her name? I think it's Weinstein. What's her first name? Gloria Weinstein. I have so many names going through my.
Yeah.
I would have been more apt to vote for Stein than I would have to vote for Hillary.
Right.
You know? I mean, any other female. I mean, gosh, you know, Condoleezza Rice. Come on.
Flycatch here on my chat page here. He's typing in. He says, you know, nothing new about women being allowed to vote. Just look at our own history. Well, that's very true. You know, it took women many years right here in the USA to be able to vote. You know, they had no rights here either.
Exactly.
So that's how that goes.
And that's going back to our Christian roots. That was because of the you know, the very strong Christian influence that dominated the government and the power here in the United States during the first century.
Yeah.
For sure. You know,
Yeah.
during the first 100 years. It wasn't until the women's movement in what was it, 1905 or something like that,
Something like
where
that.
they actually gained the right to vote.
Yeah.
Something like that. You know,
Yeah.
we take it for granted now, but you know, it wasn't until then that women even voted.
Exactly.
They vote, and they didn't really come into the voting booth and become a what do you call it? That have any voice or opinionated voice, you know, power comparable to the male voters until the 1930s, 1940s.
Something like that.
You know, I believe it was like during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where women really became part of the well. It was during World War II when women become part of the workforce.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
You know,
building planes and doing whatever.
The
Sure.
aircraft factories for sure.
Yep.
Aircraft factories.
Absolutely.
And all the ship works.
Yeah.
You know, the ships were built and everything else. The aircraft carriers, the warships, airplanes, aircraft, and everything else was mainly built by women.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people don't know that. And that's part of our history. But ever since that point on, women have gained power here in this country.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank goodness for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, Tim, looks like we have another caller here. Let's, I don't know if this is Lee or Colin. because it always comes up the same way. So we'll just take it here. Hello, caller, you with us?
Hi, Karen.
Hey, it is Lee. How are you, dear?
Hi, Lee.
Good.
Good evening, dear.
Evening.
Yeah, for some reason, your number and Colin's number comes up almost identical every time. I don't know who it is. It's funny. Yeah.
That's two different places of the world, too.
Yeah, he's in Australia.
Yeah. He's in Australia. And
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yep.
Yeah. It comes up as all ones across the board, so I don't know why it does that, but yeah. Yeah. All righty. So what's going on, Lee? What's new? I see we got a lot of crazy things going on yet with the Standing Rock deal. I know that's a big thing right now. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm kind of following it pretty close. Well, there just looks like the Army Corps made an ultimatum for them to move part of their camp, and
how can they do that when they're on their own land?
Have like about 15. They're saying up to 1,500 veterans that are supposed to be coming into the camp around the first week of December, but that's when they want the people to move off. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Unbelievable.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
People have already gotten physically hurt. I mean,
yes.
One young woman, she was only 21, and she nearly got most of her arm taken off.
Yep.
By shrapnel from one of those percussion grenades, I guess.
Right.
So it's just sad that, this young girl wasn't doing anything other than carrying. They said she was, some person I heard she was carrying water. Some said she was carrying blankets to people, and that happened to her,
Shame. Damn shame.
So what, on that video, Clarence, what did you want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of things like the abduction of Ezekiel and different things like that. I think what I'm going to wind up doing, I was just sitting here thinking about it while you guys were talking and stuff, and I think what I might do is I might actually just make up some YouTube videos on it and see if I can't do like a little workshop thing or something. I'm not really sure how it's going to work out yet, but and then I go from there, because there's a lot of things, especially like in the very beginning of the Bible and stuff, the way that I perceive it and interpret it and whatever I'd like to bring out to people, whatever. Like I said before, I hate mixing religion. Well, I'm not really sure how I can explain it. I'm not a religious-based person. I lived it, most of my life when I was younger, and I've gotten way out of the religious aspect of things. I use the Bible as a reference for certain things, and the way when I open that book up and I read it, I don't read it like it's the Bible. I read it like it's a message from E.T., the creators.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive it. So that's how I interpret it, So totally different type deal,
Yeah, I kind of like read it like an owner's manual.
Basically, yeah.
Certain things, what we should do, to help one another out, a guide, because we don't need to, we need to have something like that. But I'm not saying that's the way I look at it.
Right.
I don't look at it like that either.
Well, I will mention
it's a guideline to go by.
Yeah, I will mention a few things though, Lee. Like in the video, I don't know if you ever got a chance to watch it or not. You should really watch it. It brings up some really cool, interesting ideas there. And one of them was pertaining to the Red Sea crossing of Moses and his people. And, everybody always has this thing about the sea parting, it was a parting sea. And I had come up with a thesis or a theory on that. And I honestly don't think it was an actual parting where you walk down through the middle of the water on either side. I myself tend to believe or want to believe that it was a type of a tsunami. And when they got there, the shores had receded enough where they could actually walk across to the other side.
Yeah.
And by the time they got to the other end, of course, the tsunami came back across. And well, you know what tsunamis do to people in towns and whatever, you know. And that's just the way I'm looking at it. So that's my belief, you know, my theory.
I was actually watching one of the ancient alien series where they were actually talking about the ship Ezekiel, I mean, that's described in the Bible.
Right.
And the building that they actually built this building for that ship, you know, and
right.
Or they built this building and that ship could, the dimensions of it could actually fit into that building.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, they mentioned that too with the building of Pumapunku. A lot of them thought that might have been a launching pad for rockets and all kind of different things. I mean, there's all kind of theories about that, you know.
And then those mountaintops, they totally like cleared off mountaintops.
In Peru, yes, the Nazca lines looks just like an airport. I mean, if you were up above it and you look at the pictures of it, which I posted many times, but it looks like runways going crisscross and whatever, you know. Now the only kind of ship that we know of that would act like that would be like a space shuttle, you know, and things of that nature. So, which
and the tops of a lot of the hills around there have been shaved off.
Right.
There's no place for that soil to have gone to. They actually like removed it.
Right.
And shipped it off someplace else.
Exactly. Here's a thought.
They didn't have equipment like we have today.
No,
you know?
No, absolutely not.
So how did they do that?
I don't even think they even had wheelbarrows.
Maybe they had equipment that was way above the scale of what we have today.
No, you never know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
All that material, like I've said this before, that even if that material wasn't, or that equipment wasn't taken off world, if it was left here behind, that after 5,000 years of sitting in the elements, that would be just a pile of dust.
You would think so.
It would. Even our biggest bulldozers, a D11 Caterpillar,
right?
Dozer.
Would have rotted.
If anybody who's ever been up next to one, that's a huge piece of equipment.
Yeah, we work with them every day.
Solid iron.
Yep.
That's made out of solid iron, and I guarantee you, if that was set somewhere for 5,000 years, and you were to come back and see it, that's all there would be no recognizable part of that piece of machinery left there.
Right. Well, even the shovels we use at work.
That's what happened to all the machinery. Unless it was made out of stone,
it's going to disintegrate.
Dust to dust.
About the only thing.
Like Giorgio Tsoukalos said, the only thing that stands the time is stone.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Not metal.
Yeah.
Not metal. No, and no kind of metal.
Anything corrosive.
Material.
Even a rubber tire. I mean, I think rubber would outlast metal, but eventually it would deteriorate. You know, eventually. Eventually it would dust away. Yeah. But I think it would be one of the last things to go. Yeah. But with that being said, you know, I was also thinking about something else, especially in the Bible. It talks about, you know, these spacecraft taking off and, you know, landing and taking off and doing whatever. And I got to thinking about something. What kind of spacecraft are we associated with that would actually be able to land back off again other than the UFO? Okay. If we're talking our time style spacecraft, the only one we ever had was the Apollo. When they did the moon landings and you had two people in a craft that landed on the moon, they were able to jettison from the moon back to, you know, the the actual rocket that was orbiting the moon, the capsule, redock and then re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. So that, with that being said, even though they did that, they left a part of that on the moon. The base part of that was still left on the moon. So if that's the case, and if that's what they were using back in that time, you know, if we went up to these mountains where Moses was and whoever, you know, whatever, and had these craft landing and taken back off again, it's very possible you might find traces, who knows, of, you know, one of these pods or one of these, you know, just a theory or a thought.
I think that somewhere in the world, and I believe it's probably more than likely, is buried within the polar ice caps, either the North Pole or the South Pole.
That could be.
There's going to be evidence of machinery.
Something preserved, yeah.
Machinery, whatever it may be, extra vehicular equipment of some kind.
Right. I wanted to point out something too. People were talking about, you know, what day and age this all occurred. And according to the King James Version of the Bible, and I'm not sure what other Bibles read, I use the King James Version only because I consider it one of the oldest writings that we know of as far as, you know, modern time or whatever. I mean, I know there's older writings, but for us, handy, you know, whatever. But in Ezekiel, it gives a date of April 5th, 13, the year 13. Now, I'm assuming that's BC because Christ wasn't born yet. So you're talking April 5th, 13 BC. And that's actually written in Scripture.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can find it real quick. I can tell you.
Again, a lot of it. One thing that really kind of changes my views on the Bible. Now, I'll tell you, I use the Bible a lot for references and for guidance. I even go to the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Some references and guiding. It has a lot of good passages and scriptures in there.
Sure.
Again, that's just another book of what God has given us.
Right.
You know, what God has laid upon us. You know, I mean, if you study anything about the Mormon religion and find out where it comes from, you know, it wasn't written by a man.
Right.
Necessarily, it was written from the tablets that Joseph Smith found. It was written from the golden tablets.
Right.
And the angel Moroni helped Joseph Smith decipher what was being said in those tablets.
And you even look at that because you look at how what the Mormons say about how when we die we're going to be put on certain planets and
right.
Sure.
Or the original guy had like I don't know, like the original story of the Mormons is like it has to do with space
UFOs and extraterrestrial,
extraterrestrials,
you're going off planet. You're going to another planet. You're going to another place in
heaven. You're going to another planet when you die and or whatever be judged or something like that.
Right.
All these books that we have, even the Hindu text, Mahabharata and the Quran, all these books of faith, no matter what religion you're talking about, is here in this world, today's society and today's world are written by someone else's interpretation of what was going on.
Right.
And the thing about the Bible, all the books of the Bible, it's written as an interpretation of an interpretation. It's an interpretation of someone's dream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then it was interpreted from that language to another language, and then it was interpreted. And then it was interpreted from that language to another language,
right?
And then it was interpreted from that language into English,
right?
So
the bottom line, if it was written by man,
but it's an interpretation of someone else's interpretation of that was translated.
Right.
That had to be, the interpretation of interpretation that was three interpretations. Let me get straight. Three interpretations, and then translated. The final translation into English, and
then somebody conveniently left out some books.
Well, yeah, they conveniently left out, but there's a lot of things that's in Hebrew that was in the Torah. There's a lot of passages that's in the Torah that cannot, even today, cannot be translated from Hebrew into English. Now, and that's what the Old Testament is based off of, the Torah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all the books of the New Testament. Those were compilations that were gathered from areas around the Mediterranean. But the Old Testament is pretty much verbatim, comes out of the Jewish Torah. That is, and that's the first book of our Bible, the Old Testament. And so, I've done a lot of studying in this. I've done, and I cannot find. I'm serious, and I challenge anyone. I'll make this challenge out to anyone who's listening, anyone up there, any one of us. Find out when the Bible was written. The closest I can come to is somewhere between 1100 AD and 1200 AD. Somewhere like in between that.
Mm-hmm.
It was 1,000 years, basically, 1,200 years after Christ died. It was 1,200 years before the Bible was put into the Bible that we know today, our Holy Bible. Now, there was a form of the Bible that was based upon he said Constantine.
Right.
Constantine had a form of the Bible that was put together that.
That was at the Garden of Gethsemane, right? And that's where they chose the books to go in it, right?
Right.
That is
he had his translators write everything down. They retranslated the whole Bible, and then he pretty much chose which ones to keep and which ones to toss away, so to speak. So I'm not really sure how you.
And I'm like, not very religious. I have been. I mean, there was a time in my life that if you told me that there would be a day you didn't believe in Jesus, I would have probably cussed you out. But one day I don't.
I don't even know if Jesus really existed, but I do know that for me, Jesus exists within my heart because that is a guide to go by. People directed in a positive light.
And I truly believe that without Christianity, who's telling where we would be today?
Yeah.
We didn't have that guide of the 10 Commandments to keep us in line, Who knows where we would be? We would not even be here because we probably would have blown each other up.
Yeah, no doubt. And if we don't go back to it, or if we don't maintain some type of form of faith today, we're going to end up blowing ourselves up.
Right.
But some fool is going to push the button somewhere.
I was just saying, look at our world. Look at our total world, not just the USA, not just Europe. You look at our total world. Look at the countries that are led by these ruthless dictators, and they don't care about the people. They it's not about their people. They kill their people.
That's gone on for millennia in the past. For many thousands of years, the same thing has gone on, but it's manifested itself now through the craziness that's going on today. And when you really look at what's going on around us, you can't
help but say. Do you think overpopulation has something to do with that?
Yeah, so to a certain extent, I do believe that. I think that a lot of it has to do with people's interpretation of the whole great scam of religion itself. It has been tainted or miscued. I think that our beliefs, and this is where I go back to the American Indian heritage and believing, of taking care of our tribe, taking care of what's within our tribe, and being good with one another, and being kind to one another, and teaching our children right and proper manners, and without having to use a heavy hand on anyone, without having to show them
and that, a lot of nations have things like that. And you were talking earlier, Tim. I was listening to you about about Christmas, and that it's supposed to be, especially for Christianity, it's based on faith.
It was Christ's birthday.
Jesus' birthday.
Right.
But look what it's turned into. It's just.
Oh, that's.
I wish we could go 1 year without Christmas. It's just disgusting to me.
Oh, there you go. What happened? That's the amount of money look at the amount of money that's made on Black Friday. I mean, look,
Yeah, well.
I was just like 1 year, no Christmas.
Yeah, there's only very few.
Look at the sanity that went on this past Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But my son was actually working in one of these big malls in Phoenix and Tempe, Arizona Mills, and he said, "Crazy, Mom, how people are so mean and rude, and they're awful,
Yeah.
And this is he's his birthday,
What's up with what happened to the Christmas spirit? It's become dog eat
money
dog.
and what's getting and how much you spend on somebody, and
all about how much and a lot of it has to do not with what they're spending for somebody else, but what they're spending for themselves.
Right.
The ones that get the most, the ones that are the most angry, are the ones that are in it for their own personal goal, their own personal benefit.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are the most angriest because they're getting it for themselves, not for someone else. They're getting it because they're able to get cheap. They're in what was it in Las Vegas? I think it was. There was a fight that broke out in the parking lot at Walmart over a 55-inch TV, over a 55-inch smart TV. Someone was killed.
That happens every year.
Every year.
Over a 55-inch smart TV.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't hear. My TVs. I turned it off when the election started, so I don't even. I used to watch the news, but now I don't even have news.
I don't watch TV at all. I get my news off of.
I don't either.
Facebook.
I don't watch.
I get my news off of Facebook and off of talking to friends who
That's crazy.
use the TV.
Yeah. But I just no. Anyway, back to your folks.
But anyway, yeah, let me give you that quick, let me read this to you real quick here. This is the scripture, or this is I say scripture, this is the writing that Ezekiel wrote. Ezekiel, this is chapter 1, verse 1. This is his very first writing. And it said, now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Chebar, that the heavens were opened and I saw visions of God. Okay, so there it says it was the 13th year in the 4th month on the 5th day. So that's April 5th, year 13. Now I'm not sure. I'm going to assume that's BC, before Christ.
But we don't really know what year that could. It could have been now.
Exactly, because if you're talking,
this is all open to interpretation.
Right.
I'm not debugging what you have to say or anything, but it could possibly also be his 13th year.
Well, it's either that. Yeah, I come up. Yeah.
I remember some of those men were like 100 and some years old.
Oh, right, absolutely. Yeah. 900 years. Noah lived 900 years.
So that's
So,
weird to me. Do you really
know,
believe he lived that long?
If you want to look at it in my perspective, man could have lived a lifetime and never died. All right, until they changed the genome.
Yeah.
Alien theory. Now that's
after the flood. After the flood.
Yes, absolutely.
But there's also speaks of giants in the Bible. I don't remember exactly where it's at.
It's in Genesis. It's in Genesis.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, look at
They found giants in the USA, haven't they? I can't remember where, but
absolutely. Yeah.
In Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely.
Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Bunch of places. Yeah. But here's the thing. Now, whether this is the year 13, now whether you're talking from the beginning of time, okay, because we really don't know when man started dating the years. Now, if you could figure that out, you might be able to pinpoint this, you know, or it could have been since the flood of Noah, okay, because you have to remember that man was wiped out. And Noah and his children and his wives and that were the only ones alive at that particular time, supposedly. Okay, if you believe in a world flood and not just a particular area.
Yeah.
Okay, so there again, you have to interpret this the way you want to. I mean, this is, you know, however you want to look at it. So, and it gets confusing. It really does. But my main thing is you have to figure out, when did man actually start dating the years, and where was year one? What was year one for man? You know, as far as
that's
yeah, that's what you got to figure out.
I don't know.
Yeah, kind of weird, huh?
that's something I come across when I was studying. Well, it was when I got into the Pentecostal faith.
Mm-hmm.
When I really kind of base my life on that school, you know, and thank goodness for it, because it helped to save me that world that I was in at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so, you know, I'm thankful for that.
Right.
You know, but so I understand that, but I also how much skullduggery goes on within that religion.
Been there, done that.
You know, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for it. But you know,
live and learn.
you know, and again, I'm going to say that was a positive light that was spread upon me, that took me out of extreme darkness. Can't speak too badly about that, but at the same time, man, you have got the most harshest form of people looking down on other people within that religion.
I know, I've been there.
And passing judgment.
I know the Pentecostal to me. That religion scared the you-know-what out of me.
Right.
But they judge other people so violently, it's not even funny.
But now,
you know, and when you read in the Bible, it says, "Thou shalt not cast judgment."
Well, if you believe in the Bible, who is the judge?
Well, that's just it. See,
and it's God in the Bible, not us.
Right.
We have no right to judge anybody.
Right.
And that's the manifestation. That's the manifestation that goes on within religion. That's why I turn against religion in itself.
Yeah.
Because of those manifested man-made things that go on. That's what God has given us. It's what It's what man has made for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's what man has turned it into for their own personal gain.
Yeah.
You know, for their own personal.
Here's the thing.
Personal,
If
of themselves.
If there was such a thing as the Ten Commandments, okay, and let's just say, you know, Moses went up on a mountain and he talked to the ET, and that's the way I look at it, you know, and he came back down with these,
I'm with you on that.
you know, and he came back down with these 10 sets of laws, you know. I can understand them giving Moses 10 sets of laws, okay, because they're trying to keep what they made in line, if you know what I'm saying. You know, you guys are our chosen people. You know, we created you. This is what we need you to do. You know, blah, 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 blah. Remember Sodom and Gomorrah. Remember all that stuff that happened.
It's easy for us to get out of line.
Well, sure it is. Sure it is. Well, because you have to remember how religion was back in that day. You know, they based their lives solely on God's, period. Even your people did, Lee.
Okay, look at us. We know in the Bible it says we're made in His image, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So we're made in the image of God, right?
Yes, right.
And of course, that's what it says.
That's what it says.
You look at our country, and just like Tim said earlier, we're a country of I, me, you know.
Absolutely.
It's me. It's,
absolutely.
You know, we think we're above everybody else.
Absolutely. Yep.
You know, a lot of people are like that.
Yep, absolutely. That all goes back to the days of Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, when Cain killed his brother.
Yeah.
It was there then. He was jealous because he had a coat of many colors, you know, or whatever, you know. You see what I'm saying? Greed and stuff like that had always existed ever since Adam and Eve.
From the very beginning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's never gone away. That's part of the genome. That's part of the DNA that was a bad seed that never got taken care of, you know. And I've always said this, you look at murderers and thieves and stuff that are in prisons today, you're either born that way or you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
And it goes back to what I always say, Clarence. I said, each and every one of us, we both have good and evil within us.
Absolutely.
It's up to us who we let shine.
Right. Absolutely. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be beat enough where you get pissed off and you turn into a raging maniac. But I've taken a lot of beatings in life, and it hasn't happened to me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of it is a chemical imbalance. I really do. I think a lot of it is designed.
Well,
and it's a trademark.
People who have that bipolar.
Yes.
To me, that's exactly what it is. The chemical imbalance.
And chemical imbalance, absolutely. You know, and I'm not banishing people. I'm not saying bad things about people, whatever. I'm just saying this is what it is, and this is the way it is. It's an explanation. Not saying it's right or wrong or any of that stuff, you know. But people want to know why this, why that. Well, that's the reason. There's definitely an imbalance there. Why is it there? Okay, let's go back to the first humans. With the war between the good and bad aliens, all right, Satan, whomever, came down, messed up their genome on purpose, and it's something that they had never been able to fix because of that. That's my theory, okay?
What is, you know, okay, so I've been watching this series called The Last King, and it's about how England began from the very beginning. But you had like the Danes, the Vikings, you had the Saxons, you know, all these people killing each other, you know, the Inquisition killing, you know, thinking women were witches, wars and
Mhm.
all this killing and just overpower, you know.
Right.
How does that play in? Is
Well,
it just
that's
greed or what?
now if you even, if you go through the Bible and you read the Old Testament stuff, there was tons of war and tons. Even God's people went to war. I mean, he told them, march around that building and blow your trumpets and the walls will fall down. Blah 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 blah. He even went to war. I mean, God wasn't a friendly God. Whoever he was, he could kill and maim and.
When I look at God, I don't see him like that. To me, God is just pure love.
That's
all he is, and I see the thing that in the Bible that says, he brought slaves and. I don't see God as that. I always see God as or a creator or whoever is this pure love.
Right.
They're evil.
Well, that's true. Supposedly, and where did Satan come from? Well, he was beside God. He was one of God's most beautiful creatures. Supposedly, his right-hand man. Okay.
Or what was the other? What was the name of that angel? That fell from heaven.
Lucifer. Well, whatever.
Lucifer, but there was another one, Archangel. Well,
you had Gabriel. You had.
Anyway, okay, go back.
But anyway, but I believe in reading throughout, this whole deal. I think actually what happened was when God created his garden, his domain, whatever. And he was doing the experimentation that he was doing, that his right-hand man said, hey, why don't we tweak it this way or tweak it that way? And he's like, no, leave it alone. I don't want you monkeying with it. Well, he came down here and he monkeyed with it. That was Adam and Eve, okay? And when God came back to do his thing, he's like, whoa, what's screwed up here? And, come to find out his buddy there came down and did something and whatever. So that's how he got chastised, he got thrown out. So that's how that all happened, and there goes your good and evil, so, and we got condemned for it, obviously. So wasn't even our fault. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously. But who knows? But I'm just, without getting into it in a real lengthy thing, but that's, that's kind of the scruff of it as far as I'm concerned, Good and evil's always been here throughout mankind, always. Sad to say, but.
Yeah. From the beginning.
From the very beginning. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just something. And I figure that maybe he figured that once the flood happened and all that stuff, and because he tried to rid the world of evil before, with Noah and them guys, and he killed off all them people and did whatever.
They will, and we have the choice to be evil or not.
Well, this is true,
And I guess we chose evil, so he had to wipe the world clean.
Well,
the Bible.
Here's the problem where he kind of faulted on that. If he wanted man to not be evil again after he wiped out the world, and he should have got rid of Noah too. And the reason why is because Noah and his wife and his kids and all them are all descendants of Adam and Eve. So they already had that chemical in them when he let them live.
Yeah.
And so it was still there. He never got rid of it.
I'm still wondering how penguins got to the ark. I'm just kidding.
That was all DNA bank, but that's a whole different story. Yeah, that was all DNA.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that though.
Yeah. But that's
where did Cain and Abel's wife come from?
They interbred with caveman. That's what they did. They interbred with caveman. See, in the beginning, God created man and female. He created he and them. You know what I'm saying? Man was already here before Adam and Eve. Man and female. We were more like animals then. We bred to breed not to have sexual pleasure, but to breed as animals. And we lived like animals. And it wasn't until Adam and Eve were actually made that they became higher than the rest of them. Well, when Cain killed Abel, you know, or whatever, and he was sent to live with the other people, that's who he was living with. He was living with the Neanderthal or whoever, Homo erectus, or whoever, yeah. Whoever that bloodline was.
Why doesn't the Bible talk about dinosaurs?
Giants. There were giants in them days. It does say that, but you don't know what the giants were. It could have been dinosaur. Giants roamed the earth. Yeah. Doesn't specify. It just says giants. That's my theory.
But it can't specify animals, so why didn't they specify dinosaurs?
Well, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, it does say giants, you know, whatever, and that's, to me, it could be either or both. It does mention unicorns. People don't believe that, but it does say that unicorns existed. You know, so yeah.
Yep. Nice thing.
Yeah. I think I think I'm going to do these YouTube things. I think I'm going to sit down and figure out how to actually cut this in sections and go through that and give my.
So do you actually have a YouTube page?
Yeah, it's Closer Encounters Live. Yeah, Closer Encounters Live is what it is. And what I'll do is I'll start doing these on the side as a separate thing so I can actually edit them out and whatever. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to sit down and explain my Bible theory. You know.
Yeah. So did Robert, did he get his YouTube situation cleared up? Or
I don't think so. I haven't seen one thing of his on YouTube, you know, since then. So, yeah. I was hoping he would. He sent us a message saying he had to work till late tonight, so he couldn't be with us. But unfortunately.
Oh, that guy's awesome! Oh my God, I'm like, I would be bowing down to that guy. He's Egyptologist, and oh my gosh, everything he says, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Good people, no doubt about it. Good people.
Yeah. He knows his stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And he don't like how much of Zawi was.
No, he doesn't.
No.
I don't like him either, though. I don't care for him at all.
No.
He's a bonehead. He is a complete bonehead. That's why I like Robert Bilal.
Yeah.
Bilal.
Yeah, Bilal.
He says a lot of things that has been you know, that is open for speculation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that there's no way that man at that time has the ability to make those individual things or make those cuts or to polish those stones to that degree, or to make those cuts, you know, in the pantheon, where all those sarcophaguses are at, where the amount of technology, the cutting of solid granite, we would have a hard time making those cuts today.
Right.
You know, it would be, it's not that it'd be impossible. I mean, we could do it, but it would take a lot of time and effort to get it done with that precision. Mm-hmm. You know, and there's no way that they did it with
90 seconds.
Rubber chisels and stone axes and hammers and chicken bones. There's no way. Absolutely no. And that's what he says. Yeah. Where Azawi, the other guy, he's like, oh, that's the way they did it. They did it because you'd be surprised what human ingenuity can come up with.
Nah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't care how ingenious people could be.
They've learned to like levitate massive stones.
60 seconds.
All right. Now.
And move it.
They're working with that lineal fractal resonance.
Mm-hmm. Sound, yeah.
and sound waves, and they are able to move things.
Yeah, Egyptians use sound to heal.
Sure.
Yeah, they use sound for all types of things.
I think you'll find out later on.
With the pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. You hit it.
Have you listened to any of the lectures by Michael Tellinger?
I have not, no, sorry.
Look up Michael Tellinger on YouTube,
Okay.
and watch at least one of his presentations, just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got some stuff that will blow your mind. I mean, literally, it will blow you away.
Yeah.
And really make you think. I mean, he's one of the ones that really opened myself up. Him and Osmanovic, Professor Osmanovic from Bosnia. The guys have been working with because for years and years and years, all these geologists and everything said that the Bosnian pyramids were just natural formations. And he's the one that's gone in and he has blown it all out of the water, and he has excavated areas and he's excavated one half of one pyramid. It was not natural. There's no way that it was naturally made. It was artificially made, and it's been there for tens of thousands of years. And these guys, in that same, once you open up Tellinger's page, it will give you Osmanovic. And the way you spell it is really, really weird. He's from Bosnia, so he's he's got a, it's like a Russian, almost a Russian style name, spelling the name. So, but yeah, he's a great person to listen to, and those guys will really give you, they'll give you some really, they'll really give you some insight. And you want to, you studying the Egyptian stuff. His journey takes you down into South Africa, and along the 31st longitude.
Right.
The longitude, the 31st longitude, it goes all the way through. It's the meridian line. I believe it's part of the meridian line, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but it's where all the stuff is the pyramids of Egypt, all the way down into South Africa, and these things that they're finding in South Africa are right around that 31st longitude, and it will blow you away. I mean, that is not. There's no way that that's just coincidence that was done like that. There's something going on there. There's something happening there, and I've been really watching a lot of that stuff, but I'm more into meditating on and studying developing electrical fields through Earth, through Earth. And
I like to talk about that.
Yeah.
Like our Earth, magnetism, and what.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I have to do that.
That as some form of energy.
That's what that's an excellent source of renewable energy, clean renewable energy.
Yeah.
And we're not hurting anything. We're not hurting anybody, and it's free.
Yeah.
It's absolutely free. And Nikola Tesla, who, by the way, from Serbia, which is close to Bosnia, Croatia, and Serbia. They're all out there in that same area. Nikola Tesla, he developed our electrical system that we have today.
Right.
Our AC electrical system, he developed it in 1905 is when he started it.
Well, there was something that, he got blackballed for, whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was Edison. Edison blackballed it. Edison and Westinghouse together to blackball him, and they stole all his ideas and took all his ideas and all his patents and everything. And
well, they said that he created free energy for everybody at no cost.
Yep.
That was non-invasive to the environment.
Yep.
Right. And he wanted to give that to everyone. He said it was free to everyone and available. And Edison didn't want to do that because Edison said, nope, we're going to make money off this, and we're not going to give away to people.
Well, between him and
so they made him look like a crazy man,
yep.
and they stole all his patents, and they stole Budry.
They literally stole it from him.
Well, after he died, they walked off with everything. Yeah.
Yeah, the U.S. government. Yeah, after he died, the U.S. government, what Edison and Westinghouse hadn't got from him, the U.S. government handed it took.
Yeah, pretty much. Took all his patents and everything.
Nobody knows where they're at.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to know how many of these inventors like that have been killed and because of the stuff that they know.
Oh yeah,
tons of them.
Because they're trying to keep wraps on it, but you can only keep wraps on it for so long.
Yep.
I really kind of I wish that I could go back in the time back when I was 10 or 11 years old and my dad was trying to teach me Tesla, and I was like, Dad, I don't want to know about Tesla. I want to know how to shift a 5 and a 4. I don't want to know about electricity. I want to drive a truck and I want to drive a 2-stick. Teach me how to drive a 4.
Yeah.
And that's what I was studying.
He was trying to teach you Tesla?
And he was trying to teach me Tesla because my dad knew of Tesla. He was teaching me that, and along the way, even though he still taught me how to drive a truck with a 5 and a 4, he still taught me Tesla. But I didn't want to learn it at that time, and I wanted to go back to the time and know what I know now, and listen to him and take him his word of advice.
Sure.
But I still go a lot off of what my dad, my uncle worked on, and the electronics that they worked with, and my uncle helped develop the electric. Now Les Paul and a few other guys, Leo Fender and Les Paul, they kind of invented the electric guitar. My uncle worked with Les Paul and Leo Fender out in California. And Les Paul was from San Diego, and I was born in San Diego, so I'll tell you a little bit, I'm not bullshitting about this, that my uncle helped develop the electric amplifier. Les Paul built the guitar, and my uncle built the amplifier. He had the first patent on the first Fender amplifiers.
Cool.
So, so that's where I come from. And they were wanting to, my dad and my uncle was wanting to give me all this information, and I was so boneheaded when I was younger, and I wanted, I was wanting to drive a big truck, I was wanting to be an equipment operator, and I didn't want to know about AK electrical stuff, I didn't want to know about all that stuff,
You could have been a rock star, Tim, and been a bazillionaire.
I know, I should be, I could have been.
Hey guys,
I kid myself, but I take what it was in my genes naturally, hereditarily, and I put that to use today, and working with everything around us, and like what we're talking about here, and doing something with it, and going somewhere with it and put it to useful. And if I don't make a dime off of it, that's fine with me. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to help so our fellow human beings of mankind. And that's the key to the whole situation.
Man.
That's the key.
Goodness, we have men like that.
Hey guys, I hate to say this, but we are out of time here. We done run out.
Quick,
yeah, it does. It flies by.
All right, Clarence. Well, thanks again, man.
Thank you,
anytime.
For giving us this platform to come to and
absolutely
come together with all these thoughts, these ideas, and
we'll definitely have another one, possibly tomorrow night or possibly tomorrow night or Tuesday night. So
thank you, Clarence.
Oh, you're very welcome. Good night. Alrighty. Yeah, we're gonna try to do another one possibly tomorrow night or maybe Tuesday night. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully both nights. Who knows? In the meantime, I'm gonna try to work on this YouTube thing too. So that'd be cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you, Tim.
You bet.
All right, buddy. All right, everybody. Sorry we have to close out the show, but yeah, we kind of ran out of time here. So in the meantime, Keep your eyes to the skies. Thank you all and have a great evening.